Mr. Timmy.
Hello, Happy
Hello.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy
Happy New Year.
2021.
Yes, indeed.
It's
How was
been
your New Year?
New Year's quiet, Didn't really do much. We just played Monopoly, which is I think it's not bad of a game, It's I think if you I remember as a kid it was just like a game where I'm like, this takes forever, but I think if you read the
Mhm.
actual rules and like follow and apply all the rules, it goes by a little bit faster. And it's actually
Really?
not too bad. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like there's just rules that I didn't know. It's like every time you pass go, you get $200. I mean,
Oh,
everyone
that
knows that
one.
one.
Yeah.
But the other one was every time you land in a property, if the
Yeah.
person doesn't buy it, it has to go to auction and someone needs to buy it, which I didn't know was like a rule.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that makes sense. So then like the properties would be bought up very much
Right
quicker.
away. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So,
Oh.
anyways, I have to say, like, it's Monopoly. I don't play. I haven't played it much, but I'm like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did
Cool.
that. How about you, man? What'd you get up to?
Yeah, dinner and my girlfriends and then we played Mario. So nothing
Oh,
much. Quiet. That's it.
nice. Like old school Mario.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You were like a big video game guy growing up, right?
But more of a StarCraft and Counter-Strike.
And like I thought,
Dude.
Diablo, no?
Oh my God, Diablo. Diablo. I don't even know where my like 13 to 14 went. I don't remember.
You just played Diablo.
I think so. I
You
don't
think so?
remember. I don't remember. I was always at PC Cafe.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that must
yeah,
be a good
yeah.
times though. Probably brings back some good memories.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember much, but yeah.
I could just do school and just play video games all
Yeah,
day.
and then I think the 14 to 15 was Warcraft, and I don't remember either.
So is it one of
Man.
those you just like once you start
Ooh.
playing and you like it, you just kind of get sucked in?
Yeah, so I try not to play. That's why I like about console games because like, free world adventure games, online games, they never end, right? Because it never ends. It never ends. Like
It's
you get to like level 99
yeah.
and then and then like they come up with more levels and then you just keep leveling up and it never ends.
But are you saying this
So
is a good thing or a bad thing?
for me, it's a bad thing. I think I prefer console games because console games have like a pretty like a short
Oh,
ending.
like a set story, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I was never a big computer game guy, so I can't really relate. But I can relate to just spending every waking moment playing a game. So those are good times. Those are good times.
yeah.
Good times. Yeah. Well, I'm
Cool.
glad to hear you had a good. I mean, I guess given
That
COVID,
was
no
good.
one's really going out and stuff like that. But I'm glad you're
Yeah,
able to have a good time. So,
yeah.
2021. Last year was a bit of a write-off in many ways. Do you have any like resolutions or like goals or like kind of a direction with which you want to go in your life
Yes.
and in your career for 2021?
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
about
So I
that
have
today.
I have a lot more about I think life goals than career
Hey,
goals.
you can make an argument that the life goals are
Yeah.
more
So
important.
exactly. Like 2020, I think I was still working on myself and I was in the best place in terms of like how I was feeling about my life and etc. So like in 2020, I think everything was like geared more towards around like um, keeping a job is a success. And I kept my job, which is great. So 2021, same goal. I would like to keep my job. Yes. So that's a goal.
That's a
Uh,
good goal.
yeah, I think because yeah, like some of the personal things that happen to me. So it still takes a lot of work to just keep a routine and keep it going. So I'm going to focus on that, continue to focus on that, setting small short-term goals and
Okay,
achieving them.
that's great.
That's my goal.
That's good. Yeah,
So it would be like at work it would be like launch this new feature
mm,
as a short-term goal, and then it'd be like measure how it's doing, improve on it,
yeah,
and then move on to the next project and
that's
etc.
great.
So,
Yeah,
so that's like literally my career goal. Nothing around like getting promoted or anything like that.
yeah. You're just kind of
Um,
focused on the task
yeah,
at hand.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And then second goal would be to be able to pay all my bills. So that's a
that's very
second goal.
good. So basically, having
Yeah,
your foundation and your basis covered, which I think is
yeah,
Like, I mean, that's a good, but that's a very common, like, that's a goal that you would one I would imagine you're gonna have for the rest of your life.
I hope so. But in the past, it wasn't actually. Like
Oh,
there were times that it wasn't. It was more like I've had other goals where it's like even if it means you don't get like you don't pay all your bills,
mm.
but find something that you really love to do.
So that's what you used to be like, but
Right.
now you're like explicitly like having financial stability
Yeah.
is important. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Because I realized I do have a goal, but in order to get to my goal, it would be very beneficial for me to have these foundations, which will allow me to go strive towards my goal. So, for
Okay.
example, and I realize I don't necessarily have to make my goal or my passion to be 100% of what I do for work and how I make a living. So
Okay.
that's why it's like I'm yeah. So like this, I really like working in technology, and so I would love to continue to develop in this space.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
what I would like to do.
Okay.
And then I have a more realistic, like more life goal this year is to be able to rent out my condo and buy a house.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So those are life slash financial goals, I guess, more
Mm-hmm.
so. Okay,
Indeed.
that's good. So
Yes.
is you had mentioned earlier, is this like like a stepping stone for a bigger goal? Like,
Yes, indeed.
so,
Yes.
like, let's dive into that. What, like,
Yeah.
walk me
So
through this whole thing. Yes.
right, right. So this is like my ultimate goal at some point in my life would be to own a gym.
Yes. Sweet.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would love to. But I'm not so like I think I could own a gym and hire some people to manage it and
Of
like
course.
maintain it and
Yeah.
etc. And I could still have my own work.
Oh,
So that's yeah. So
so it'd
that's
be
what I figured out.
like like you put up the initial capital, you have like
Yeah,
an ownership, but like
yeah,
would you like have other people running it on your behalf?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. That's
yeah, yeah,
fantastic. Can
yeah.
so that is the ultimate end goal.
At some point in my life, yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fantastic, man. That's good. So to get to that this year, you want to rent your condo out like X number of days. Like, is that
Right.
how it's work? Like you have a target in mind? Like you have a number
Oh
of
no, no, sorry. So I'm gonna move out of my condo.
okay, 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 okay.
Yes, I'm gonna get a like a lease this place,
Yeah.
which will help me to then pay for my bigger mortgage when I
Yes.
buy a house somewhere,
Yes. Yes.
and then that would continue to like it's like I guess like a building my own capital,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah,
great.
like investment in real estate
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
like other places. Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's so that's the big that's good. I mean, you got a big
Mm.
long-term goal and you have something. So, I mean, are you planning on getting a place this year?
I yes, that is my goal. Like I'm gonna do it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's good, man.
I'm gonna do. So I asked TD and CIBC how much I would get it pre-approved for. Yeah, and then I will decide either I'll buy just like a house or duplex and rent out the basement as well.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
great. And this is something you've been talking about for a while, right? Like taking that
yeah,
next little step. So that's good. Good for you.
yeah,
That's very
yeah. Like
exciting.
for a long time, I think I really like I didn't know what my next step was, and that was very scary. Like
Mm.
just not knowing like what's next. But like it's like everything in life. Like I'll try it. Maybe I
Yeah.
won't like it. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this gym idea is stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So, like, okay, so I'm curious. So,
Yeah.
I know you like fitness is a big part of your life. Like it has been for a long time, your entire life, and like it's important to you. So, what about specifically about owning a gym are you looking forward to, or you think you would really enjoy?
Yes. So one, um, okay, this sounds pretty stupid, but like I really like the gym, like
Okay,
the
yeah.
environment. Yeah, like I would love to own a where because I have some ideas of like what I would like to do with my gym. if
Oh,
I had
okay.
a gym,
Like
you
you
know?
do things a
Yeah,
little differently, a little
yeah.
better.
Well, I fucking put some mirrors on this side. People can fucking flex, and there's like a topless zone. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm
Are
just
you?
kidding.
Are you?
No, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, it's shit. Like I would like put this up on the wall. I'm gonna
Okay.
have these machines, which I really liked, versus like these ones. Like,
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's
Okay.
like so. Like I would. I don't know, but like I wouldn't necessarily do it for the money, but it's more like a passion project, I'll say, because
It's
I
like a
just
hobby,
like it so
like a
much.
big hobby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was probably more. It will become more than a
Yeah.
hobby, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
by
Like,
then, if I have a family, they'll probably be bitching and saying like, "You're never around. You're always at the gym." Um, but yeah, I just like I think I thought about like what if I worked in a gym industry, like just from scratch, because like so then you can learn about the industry because I
sure. Yeah.
never
Yeah.
had working in a gym experience ever. So like I don't know what goes into freaking
Mm-hmm.
managing or maintaining a
Mm-hmm.
gym. I'm like, how do you profit? Like, is it all membership? Like, what is it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like the
but
business
then
model of a gym.
right, right. But then it's like like the stability goes away a lot. I think like financial freedom and stability. I think
Yes.
at this point,
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. For sure.
So
I
then,
think. Yeah.
yeah. So then, what I thought about is like, what could I do that would still provide me with some financial stability, but still be able to sort of like get into this industry and learn about it. And then I thought about like, oh, like, and then in the past, like someone approached me about ownership at a gym, like I think it was like a CrossFit gym, um, in Markham. And then like they were only asking for like $20,000, like just to
Just
put down in
like
it.
a yeah, like an
Yeah,
investment. Like yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then like you would own like 5% of the
Yeah.
gym, like shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh, I guess like that is a way. Like that is a way to do it.
Yeah. For
And then
sure.
I guess you could, if you sit down and talk to the like actually people who are gonna like manage and
Yeah.
do stuff with it, then you could probably have an agreement where like, hey, like would it be okay if I come in the weekends and
Yeah.
like I would like to learn about like this aspect of the like,
Yeah.
so that's sort of like where I was thinking.
I see. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. No, that's like a common thing with business. Like I remember like a couple of years ago when I was setting up my sole proprietorship, I was looking at different like business models and
Mm,
having someone coming in and just investing money but letting
mm,
other people run a business. That's like
mm,
it's a thing. It's like a common thing, right?
mm,
And it sounds like this is kind of what you would want to do. Is like I want to come here, I'll I'll inject some cash and I'll invest
yeah,
a little bit in the company, but like my role is going to be limited in like I'm not going to run the day to day,
right.
like so um that's a good, yeah, that's good. I mean, you're able to invest in a business, the gym, learn a little bit about it, learn run it, help run it, and then at the same time keep your other job. It would be a lot of work
Yeah, I think
regardless,
so.
but
Yeah,
hey, if you give it a go, why not, right?
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. Well, that's exciting, man. It's good that I always like hearing, and I'm always encouraged to like when people have like a target or a goal, like
Mm,
especially one that has to do with it's one thing to like, I want to lose 10 pounds, but like it's nice to hear of like, oh, this is kind of something that I've always thought about doing with my life or like getting involved with, and having like hearing those is it's inspiring because it like makes me go like, oh, you know what, that person can come up with their like dreams and come up with a plan, then maybe I
mm,
can too. So well, that's
yeah,
really exciting. That's very,
yeah.
very exciting. That's a good. Okay, so like, what's the target for this year? Buying a house. Like that's this target. That's a target.
Bingo. So rent out my condo, buy a house. That's the goal this year.
That's a big goal.
It is a big goal.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that's really
Um.
exciting.
Yeah. Enough about me. What about you, Hope?
Yeah, no, like every year at the start of every year, like I like going like, just like everyone else, I like going through the exercise of like what do I want to accomplish this year. And over the last couple of years, like it's something that I've been spending a little bit more time on, and I've been conscious of solidifying the plans, because like it's one thing to come up with like, oh, I want to do this, but then focusing on the processes and the habits to get and achieve that goal. um but yeah, anyway, so yeah, this year, like my focus has been more kind of along the lines of what you're saying, like not so much career, not so much like that kind of thing, but just
Mm,
more like bigger picture life picture stuff. I've always been like I've always been cognizant of the fact that like I'm I'm at a certain age, you know, I'm still relatively young-ish. I don't have kids. You know, I've purposely like I've never ever since I finished school, I knew in the back of my head that like I want to go live abroad somewhere. Like I always knew that I wanted to go somewhere.
Mm,
And because of that, I've always like kind of shied away from like getting a house or a mortgage. Not to say you can't travel or move when you have a mortgage, obviously you can, right? But like I've always been like let's not tie myself down to Toronto too much.
yeah.
Um but yeah, over the last year and this year, like it's kind of gone into overdrive, or like it's always been in the back of my head, but I never really did much with it, you know? Like
Mm,
it's like, oh yeah, one day I'd like to go somewhere, but like, yeah, whatever, right? But then last
mm,
year, like that's like I said, I'm like, oh man, I'm not old, but I'm not young. Like if I'm gonna do something, I need to like actually take action with it.
mm,
So last year, you know, I thought of like maybe going further education. So I went down the GMAT route of like a specific
yeah.
school, went down that route, you know, didn't get into the school that I wanted to get into. So that kind of went, you know, went by the back burner. Um, I got this I got accepted into this program at work that would help build my CV up for the purposes of, you know, what the next step is.
Mm,
But all of that kind of I've pushed that aside, and I think for this year I've been just thinking about like actually like going away somewhere, maybe
mm,
potentially, you know,
mm,
whether that's Korea, whether that's Europe, somewhere. So, and I think yeah, like I said, like I think it's one of those things that I really want to like think about and then actually like do, or like get the ball
mm,
rolling with that. I like the idea of going to Korea.
mm.
You know, it's interesting. Like I've been, this thought kind of came into my head a couple weeks ago, but I've been surprised at myself at how much I've kind of gone back and forth in my head, like
Okay. Between.
not going
Oh,
and
not
staying.
going. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh my god, like you know, it's only a year. Like a year is not a long time in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like I could come back to Canada, like I'll get another job, whatever, right? But over the last couple of weeks, it's just kind of been like, yeah, but like, what am I going to do in Korea? What I'm going to spend a year to like stick around or like teaching? Like what am I really going to get out of it? Is
Yeah.
it a good idea to like put my career on pause? Like all that kind of stuff. But I think deep down, I know that like, even if it's not the best use of my time,
Mm,
even if it might kind of hinder, like, because the other thing that's is like, if I go away for a year and then I want to go to further school again, I'm just a year older, right? Like it's just like what the
mm,
fuck. But I've been, yeah, I just been kind of doing this mental like back and forth between
mm,
like whether I really want to do it, whether it's the best idea for my like me, whether it's the best
mm.
idea for my career, all that stuff. So I guess my goal, to come back to your question, is like figuring out what it is that I want to do.
Mm.
Like I think that's the biggest goal that I have.
What are you looking to get out of like living abroad for extended period of time?
I've always like, and again, that is the question that I ask myself, because I think the fear that I have is like you're excited by the new. Like you go anywhere for when the time it's
Mm,
exciting. It's new, like
yeah.
new people,
Yeah.
new places, but that will go away. Like
Yeah.
new by definition will like filter, like it'll just kind of breeze away. And then
Yeah.
after that, you're just still left with your own thoughts. You're just left with who you are at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I'm concerned that going abroad is like a surface level solution to some deeper things that I need to deal with, which I don't really know what those are.
Mm,
You know, like I don't want to like, you ask me like what it is that I want to get out of it. Like, you know, I could change the scenery, which is fine.
yeah.
Um, you know, see family, see my grandparents, spend some time with them over there, spend some time
Mm.
with uncles, which is good. Get better at the language, hopefully.
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would hope I get
Definitely
fucking
would
better at
happen.
that. Yeah, right. Which
Definitely.
again, which would
Definitely.
help my relationship with my parents here, which are all great reasons, but I don't
Ooh.
think those are good enough of reasons. Like they're not good enough of a reason for me to justify up and leaving. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, or
I
I
don't
just
know.
don't feel like it is.
Yeah.
Like to quit, to leave like a, you know, the job that I have,
Yeah.
the opportunities that I have. So yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just like I said, like I'm I just I don't know. I just kind of want a bit of a change, like a bit of a change of scenery, be
Yeah,
away on my own, all that kind of stuff. Like I don't really have a good reason other than to say that that's just kind of what I want.
yeah,
I feel like I do want kids one day, have a family. I
yeah,
would love to have the, and I feel like once you have kids, it's going to be hard to go spend a year abroad.
yeah,
So while the opportunity is there, I feel like even if it might not make the most sense, is just to take advantage of it is kind
yeah.
of where my head's at.
I see.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Well,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I want to like get out of Toronto for
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
various reasons,
Yeah.
and like I think you and Will asked like why you want to, and then sometimes like I think I've the reasons I've provided in the past to you guys. It's like, to other people, I don't think it makes perfect sense. Like it doesn't make much sense because
Yeah.
like I just want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's that's it. Like it's like I don't know, but
Yeah.
like I do know. I'll say what sounds right to me,
Yeah.
but deep inside I just want to go.
Yeah.
Like
I just want to go.
it's like there's something, um I don't, it's like a feeling that you can't necessarily describe, but you just
You just feel it.
yeah,
Yeah.
follow
Yeah.
your gut type of thing.
Yeah. And like,
And then like people also say like the regret of not doing is greater than,
yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
regret of doing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and I think I've had a lot more of those in my life. So like, I don't know. And also like, if you went to Korea, you don't like it, you could come back right
That's
away.
true.
You
That's
don't
true.
have to stick with for like a year.
Yeah.
Like
That's a
that's,
good point. Yeah. That's a good
yeah,
point.
like,
Yeah.
so that's another thing that I guess like, yeah,
And the thing is, it's like, and I agree with you, right? And I was like doing some thinking like earlier today, actually, like asking myself, like, what let's dig into this. Why do I want to go,
yeah,
right? And then I'm like thinking, it's like, is there anything wrong with just saying you just want to go? Like,
yeah,
like go on an adventure, like, like I feel like I'm kind of like holding myself back because I feel like I need to justify it, or like it needs to fit into this life plan where like, oh, this will lead to this and then this will be good for my career this way. Like
yeah,
I think I kind of bog myself down with that. But
yeah,
I mean, sometimes I'm just, again, maybe this is just me making excuse, but sometimes like you just want to change the scenery, you just want to go
yeah,
explore new places, check out like, like
yeah,
like again, the thing that holds me back is like I go do this, right?
yeah,
Or like you travel somewhere, I go somewhere, and then a year passes by.
yeah.
If I like, what if I'm just in this? What if I come back from a year and I still have the same feeling? I just want to go
Yeah,
somewhere else. I want to go to another city.
yeah.
I'm concerned that it's not addressing whatever it is that I need to be addressed.
What? Yeah, okay, I see. What it means to have that change of scenery.
Yeah, like I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I just my fear is I go away
yeah,
for a year and I come back
yeah,
and in a mental, as far as my mental and emotional
yeah.
state is concerned, I'm in the exact same spot. Then it's like, what the
Mm.
hell? Like like I quit a job, I gave up a year
Yeah.
of like all that stuff for what? For me to come back just to be in the exact same position, or me to come back and being like, oh no, I need more. Like I want to go. Like like I
Mm.
like that's, which I think I'm due for maybe like a sit down with my therapist to kind of talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So anyway, yeah,
yeah.
to the intermission, I think that has kind of been where my head's at as far as figuring out, like that's the big overarching kind of like what I want to do.
Okay.
Um, as far as other goals, I would like to buy a used car at the end of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, for the
Okay.
house here. Yeah, I think
Okay.
with Jamina and Drew leaving in about a year, and Drew like being a mechanic and like knowing his shit like way around cars, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I think I want to take advantage of that, and just it'll
Yep.
make life easier for Uma and Ajishi.
Yep.
So that, and I think those are the big, like I mean the other one is like, again, coming down to like other ones that I talk about every year is like getting more fit,
Mm.
like um I've been looking to buy like that stand that you have in the background.
Yeah, yeah,
Still
yeah.
fucking sold out everywhere. Still
Yeah.
sold out everywhere. But deeper than that is like continuing to be persistent with the habits that I want to develop. So if
Mm.
I want to be healthy, is just develop the consistency to like, you know, exercise regularly,
Mm,
and focus on the process of developing good habits, not so much as the end result, because
mm,
it's, developing the good habits will lead to good results. So
yeah.
again, I'm just trying to focus on the day to day, like have a good routine every day. And then from that routine, hopefully the other things will kind of build up from that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of it, like as far as the goals. For you, like, so let me say this. So with 2020 being the year of the COVID, it sounds like the bigger goal that you have of getting a place, it sounds like COVID shouldn't get in the way. Like the pandemic and the world being
Yeah.
the crazy shit show that it is, like,
Yeah.
do you think that you're kind of immune from that as far as what you want to accomplish this year?
So the Toronto condo
Mm,
rental markets isn't so hot. So
mm, 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 mm,
maybe it could, but I'll find a way to do it. It might just mean uh buy a property that's like, that not necessarily is like my dream home, but it's just another stepping stone. Just take it as like more of a investment opportunity,
mm.
I think. Yeah. So yeah, because there will be a cap on like how much I could borrow, depending on how
Right,
much income I could get from this property too. So yeah,
right.
that's another thing.
So,
Yeah.
so sorry. So does it? Oh, so you mean like how much you can rent your place out for?
Bingo.
I see.
Yes.
So
Because that is income.
yes.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good then. I mean, it's some like, you know, I guess it's unfortunate that there's some things that are kind of out of your control, but I guess that's just the way life is.
It's just yeah. You
Yeah,
just make it
yeah.
work. So
That's good. That's good.
yeah. So for you're gonna try to figure out what it is, uh, the deeper meaning of like wanting to go somewhere and change the scenery. Do you think you would make, I guess, like once you have the answer and say, oh, like there's like a really good reason that I do want to go somewhere, then would you want to do it this year?
Again, great question. Like
Mm,
I'm in kind of impatient. So if I
mm,
have my mind set on something, if I
mm,
want to do this or I want to do that, like I want to do it right away. Like
mm.
it's a it's a personality default, like a shitty part of me. I can be
No,
I can be quite impatient sometimes. So for Korea, I thought I'm like with COVID, like fuck it. Like I did some Googling of like people like teaching English, which is another thing. Like I've been stuck on teaching English, which I'm like, I don't know if I have to do that. But anyway,
you don't have to. Yeah,
I don't have to, right?
yeah, you don't have to.
But people have been making it work. There's a lot of uncertainty, which is like a
Yeah.
risk. But I'm hoping that by the time I've kind of understood what, like, have a bit of a firmer grasp, by the time my compass has kind of been pointing towards like a direction a little bit more,
Mm,
like by the time it's been a bit more focused, I'm hoping that like the vaccine rollout will have kind of picked up a bit more steam.
mm,
Um, as at least, like today's January 3rd, right?
mm.
Ontario, and again, I don't know about other countries in the world, but at least on Ontario, we started vaccinating folks, I think, a couple of weeks ago. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
There's been a bit of a slowdown over Christmas, and there's a bit of controversy over that. And
yeah, I heard that.
we're Canada, like Ontario and Canadians, I think, are a bit behind schedule with where we want to be
Yeah,
with the vaccination. But with that being said, it seems like the initial targets as of like now, most of the people who want to get vaccinated in Ontario should be vaccinated, like, I don't know, July, August-ish.
yeah.
Like I don't know, yeah. So I'm hoping that the rest of the world is hopefully on a similar time slot.
Timeline. Yeah.
So by the time I figured out what it is that I want, hopefully things will be back to normal. But I mean,
Mm,
who knows, right? Who knows?
yeah.
So to answer your
Are
question, yeah,
there
yeah. Go ahead.
people currently like going over to Korea to teach English?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Oh.
so it was again, the very little bit that I understand. So once
Yeah.
COVID, like once the lockdown happened in March or April or whatever it was in Korea,
Yeah.
people who are working at the hagwons, there were a lot of
Yeah.
people who were shit out of luck because like they're private businesses, and then a lot of them just closed down because they couldn't send the kids to hagwons.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're working in the public school system, I think it was a little bit better just because you're a
Mm,
government worker and like
mm,
fine, right? But with that being said, like again, I don't have any numbers, but like just looking up on YouTube and the internet, there have been people who went over during COVID. Their Hagwon had a proper like online slash like half the class
Mm.
comes in today, the other half class comes in like the
Mm.
end of the day. Like,
Mm.
so there have been people who have been able to make it work, but at the same time, there's just a lot of uncertainty. Like I said, some people have just lost their jobs. Some people have been told to stay at home and like you might not get paid, but like once things kind of pick back up, you'll continue to have your job. So there's a lot
I
of
see.
uncertainty, which
Mm.
is like no one wants.
Mm.
But like I said, I'm hoping that by the time I've kind of hopefully figure some stuff out, things will hopefully kind of be back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What like I don't do you, like a little off topic from as far as New Year's resolutions are concerned, but I mean, do you foresee things being back to normal come June, July? Like, I mean, if you were to put on your prediction hat, look into the crystal ball, it's July.
Hold on.
What's going on?
Let me think. Um, what I heard is like July, Canada perspective, like they're aiming to vaccinate 8 million people.
Yeah,
Is
something
that
like that.
right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then there are 30 million people in
I think
Canada.
there's like 35.
35.
To 40.
I
Yeah.
see. And then they're going to focus on Quebec and Ontario first. I think that's the plan.
Oh, I think each of the provinces, like again, because like this, like I don't really know the specifics, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to focus on Ontario and Quebec first, so much as like focus on like long-term care homes across the country equally. Like, you know,
Gotcha.
like I think like First Nations people in like Nunavut, like some people up there have already gotten like vaccines and shit. So
Oh,
anyway.
really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
and then okay, so I might be wrong, but this vaccine helps. The effectiveness means it reduces the like I guess like the disease being lethal,
I guess so.
but not. It doesn't prevent you from getting it, doesn't it?
I think. I mean, I know very little about this, but I would. I mean, it's probably like if you get the flu vaccine, you can still get the flu.
Exactly. You just know how to fight it.
I think it's a combination of the likelihood you getting it is probably reduced.
Yeah.
And once you do get it, the severity of like the impact is reduced as well. So
yeah. So okay, all this long story. So where I was getting at is this. I don't know what I guess like each country's government will be comfortable with. Let's say they vaccinated all the vulnerable people, and all these young people who are not so vulnerable are, they still have a long way to go to vaccinate all of them, right?
Yeah.
So we could still carry stuff, and then, right, like the vaccine doesn't mean we're not gonna get it. Even if we are vaccinated, it doesn't mean we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the government will be like, these vulnerable people are mostly vaccinated, so, like open up everything and people go wherever. And then we could still carry stuff and potentially,
that's true.
Go everywhere and like still give it to them.
Yeah.
Right.
I see.
And then we just hope the vaccine works. And it should.
Yeah.
And it's just like flu, right? Like flu vaccine is even worse. 95%. No, it's more like 50% effectiveness. So they let people out when it's flu season, and those old people are vulnerable. So maybe it'll be okay.
I hope so. I mean, I guess incorrectly in my head, I've just like even during this like last 3-minute conversation, I've been assuming that just because everyone's vaccinated, things go back to normal. But I don't know if that's the case. Like
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's freaking tough.
It is. But I guess it's like one of those things, like, what they say, like only worry about the things that you can control, and everything else, it is what it is, right? So I guess for me is, what can I control? Just figuring out what it is that I want. Saving for that car. Get into a good rhythm with my like work on me. You know what I mean? Obviously, work is a work, but then just continue to like I think over like 2020, when we started working from home, like I was really proud of myself of developing good habits. Getting into a good routine of like, working on habits that I've always wanted to work on, reading a bit more, writing a bit more, learning how to play it all. I think you know, one of the positives of 2020 was working from home and having all that extra time gave me that extra time to kind of focus on those things.
Mm.
And I think for 2021 and beyond, like I think continuing to work on those, because those are the things I have control over. And then, you know, whatever happens outside of whatever I control happens, and then you just kind of make the most out of it as it comes. So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where my head's at. But so hold on. So we talked about your like big 2021 goals. Anything else? Like anything else as far as what you want to accomplish this year, whether it's fitness related, financial related, like life related, anything else? I'm curious.
Hmm. I'm still gonna try to, you know, I'm gonna try to dig deeper in
Mm.
understanding myself, because
Mm.
sometimes I do feel lost
Oh
in
yeah.
terms of like, yeah, like I don't know like what I'm supposed to do, like what's the meaning of life, all that stuff. But yeah, I'll try to like I think I will continue to search.
Oh, okay.
But I will try not to actually. I'm gonna try not to get so hung up on what the purpose is, and then like
Yeah.
then yeah, get lost, and then I all of a sudden like have no motivation to do anything.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think like let me ask you this, like the purpose is like, do you know the saying that like the journey is just as important as the destination?
yeah,
You're aware of that saying, right?
yeah.
So like, do you think focusing too much on the purpose is you focusing too much on the destination and not thinking about the journey that is life? Like,
100%. So
okay.
sometimes I feel like I've like wasted time, um, and I don't appreciate the journey.
Mm.
Yeah, but thinking back, it's more like if I haven't gone through it, like I wouldn't value it, like whatever I thought I wanted to get, right?
Mm.
Because like without going through it, I wouldn't have never known, because I never experienced it.
Right. Right.
So, and even if like at the end it comes out to be like this is not what I wanted, but how would I have known without
That's
actually
true.
trying it?
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, I wish I didn't play so much StarCraft and those online games when I was like teenager. Maybe
Right.
I wish I would have done, maybe I learned another language, or um, I don't know, like exercise more and develop better habits, and
Yeah.
things like that. Or but I don't know. I guess everybody has their own path, and unless like my parents always told me like that's a waste of time. Why would you do that? At the
Yeah.
time, I didn't understand because it didn't feel like it was a waste
Oh,
of time.
and how could you? You're
Yeah,
a kid. Like
yeah.
you just, yeah.
But I think even like current, as I am like turning almost 33 soon.
Yeah. Same.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, even nowadays, like like other people will say, like, why would you do that, right? Like, why would you, like, you have a nice job, like, why would you try to
Mm.
explore other avenues and things like that? And but like maybe they do see something that I don't see because they've gone through it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
lived it, but it's too bad that I wish I see what they're seeing. I can see what they're seeing. So then,
Yeah.
like it really, I feel it with my heart. So then I actually truly understand, rather than thinking like, well, like, why aren't you supportive of what I'm trying to do here?
Mm, mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
yeah. So, like I think I this year I will try to wrap my head around better in terms of like, like you say, the journey is as important as the end goal. So don't get so discouraged by if the outcome wasn't what you were expecting, right?
Yeah.
Because without going through that journey, like I would never know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like so many people could tell me what to do, but I'm gonna go do what I want
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like I think like no matter what you do, when you like 20 years from now,
Yeah.
like how you just said like, oh man, when I was younger, I wish I wasn't playing StarCraft now. I know I'm 100% confident that you and I, 20 years from now, when we look back, oh, when we were in our early 30s, why did we spend so much time doing this and this? Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, why did we
Yeah.
spend so much time talking to each other on YouTube? I don't know, or on cam. Like, there's gonna be those things, and I think thinking too much about that, at least for me, can like I can get a little paralyzed with like overwhelming. Because then for me, I keep second guessing, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing? And that balance between doing something that you might not like for your future self,
Yeah.
balancing that between something that you want to do now to enjoy while you're able, is
Yeah.
like that balance is different for everybody.
Mm.
Like, and I think like there's never one, like there's never a right way, there's never a wrong way to live life. It's just trying to like understand that, like, you know, you know, do something that you enjoy, but there's nothing wrong with like looking up for future self. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with sacrificing a little bit now, even if you don't like it, if it's going to be better for you. Like, I don't know, I'm just saying shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
I'll say this, as far as like the journey and stuff like that, the one thing I've really, like, one of the habits that I want to develop this year is
yeah.
continuing to like meditate and be mindful a
Mm,
lot more. And I have to
mm,
say, for the longest time, when you read like self-help or like read people who like things that like they do every day, meditation has always come up, and I've always been very
mm,
like, come on, like, it's not that big of a deal.
mm,
But as I started in the last like year or so, I have to say it is quite, it's been very beneficial to me in my life.
mm,
Like, being mindful, just being aware of the present, and just trying to like just not to think too far into the future, not to think far into the head. It's just, and just kind of just taking things as they come, is it's
mm.
beneficial to me. I don't know if you meditate, but it's
I have tried.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about specific goals for this year. If we were to take a step back, like, are you a goal setter? Like, is like throughout your life, is that something that like you've, like, it's just a part of who you are?
Yeah.
And when you do set goals, do you have like a framework or a structure? Like, when working out, like, do you have a goal, like, by the end of 3 months I want to be pushing this much, or by the end of 3 months I want
Mm.
this to be a bit more developed? Like, is like, walk me through how you've set goals, or if you have.
Yes. So in the past, like I didn't used to like write down my goals,
Mm,
and like I didn't have necessarily like what kind of metrics I want to measure.
mm,
Like how would I know that I'm progressing towards the goal, right?
sure. Okay.
And like how I'm doing to, like, am I on the right track to achieve it by the time frame that I set for myself. But then actually in cognitive behavior therapy, there was like a whole the book that I read like had a chapter about setting like short-term goals, and like how like some it had some like worksheets that I could use to do it. So nowadays I just do post-its. So it's like I would have like I set up like multiple columns, so I have different categories. So it's like life,
Mm.
and then I think last year I had life, travel, um, fitness, and then career,
I bet you
and then
just smashed the travel goals out of the park this year. Just kidding. No,
zero.
just kidding. Yeah, I know.
I think I did. Yeah, zero. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and then I have like I try to then do um, set goals that are like much smaller, and then
Mhm.
I have a
Yeah,
big goal, and then I start breaking it down. So it's like,
yeah.
say by Q1 I want to do this. So for this, like buying a new home, the next step would be by March I want to put in the new hardwood floor in
Mm.
my condo because like there was water damage,
Yeah.
and then by before end of Q2 I want to have a renter for this
Mm.
place, and then by Q3 I want to have a home that I want to purchase, and by Q4 I want to move into that home.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
break it, you have one big goal in different categories of your life,
yeah,
and then from there you break them down. That's good.
yeah, yeah,
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask you, what are your techniques, Hope?
Yeah, the kind of same thing as you did, right? Like breaking it down to smaller chunks and like adding a time, like what and by when, right?
Mm,
And then from there, again, I don't do this as much as I should, but like mentally, I try to tell myself, break it down into smaller chunks, break it down into smaller actionable chunks.
yeah.
The one thing that I'm trying to like, the one thing that I need to be better at in every aspect of my life is like setting the goal, setting a plan. It's like I fool myself into thinking that that is enough. Like coming up with a goal and breaking it down like is fun. Like
Mm,
it gives you like, you think it, like, at least for me, it's like, oh, I set a goal, I'm being productive, I have a plan, like this is going to be
mm,
great. Like, you go through what I'm sure a lot of people go through of like, you get the endorphins and you feel productive because you come up with a plan, which is important. Plan is important, right?
mm,
Coming up with a goal is important. Coming up with breaking it down into like little chunks is also very important. But the one thing that I fail at, or the one thing that like I need to spend a bit more time on, and I've been trying to do, and I mentioned this earlier about developing habits, is just being consistent. Like I think that being consistent can help overcome holes in your plan. I think being
mm,
consistent can like take care of a lot of other things. So what I mean by that is like exercise, for example, right? Like I want to bench this much, or like I want to do this much, are good. But more so than targeting the end, I've been trying to tell myself like, track, like, did I work out today? Did I work out today? Did I work out today?
mm.
Like that I've been trying to focus more on the day to day,
Yeah.
because if you're not there at the base level, if you're not being there consistently,
Yeah.
like the plan doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Just showing up is basically what I'm trying to say. So
mm,
for me is just trying to remove the friction to for me to do whatever it is that I want to do on a
mm,
regular basis. Like that's what I try to get myself into a good habit of doing.
mm.
So um yeah, like that, I guess I come
Yeah.
up with plans, I guess, that I can stick with on a regular basis, whatever that is. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how I try to approach things. So
Oh, last year, something this happens all the time, but last year I had this goal around like something I wanted to like. There was like a dance goal that I set for myself, which was like practice a new move every 2 week,
okay.
something like that. Okay, like some choreography or something, whatever. And I miserably failed after a month because it's like, man, like it takes some moves are definitely, it takes longer than 2 weeks to, and then like it was just getting like too scary of a goal.
Yeah.
Do you like adjust goals as you go, like because like you
Yeah.
kind of, yeah,
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 yeah, I
okay.
think so. Like I think, yeah, you kind of have to, like, at least, like,
Mm,
whenever you try something new, I think like before I adjust, I'm very conscious of like when I set myself a goal, I'm very I try to be very deliberate with it,
uh,
because if you set a goal and it's too hard, you're
yeah,
gonna lose motivation and you're not gonna get anywhere.
uh,
You set a goal that's too low, you're just not gonna do it, right? So I try to be very cognizant of setting a goal that's just above the limits of my capability or the limits of my time. Like, you know what I mean?
mm,
Like, I'm not going to tell
yeah,
myself
yeah,
to
yeah,
cook a 3 hour gourmet meal every day because I just don't have the time. I don't have the care.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But even if you set that, I think you try to do whatever it is that you do, and then you just kind of eventually realize that this isn't working for me. And
Mm,
if you want to keep with it, you revise the goal or you revise your
yeah,
targets.
yeah.
If you realize you just don't give a shit, then you just stop. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Do you go through that a lot of revising?
So what I did, which probably not a good idea last year, is like I took that sticky off because I was like, man, I can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is just
yeah.
making me feel bad
Yeah,
because it's like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But I just went it at my own pace in terms of like, you know, like I picked up I watched this new video on Instagram, somebody doing this move.
yeah,
It's gonna take as long as it takes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
like I didn't stress so much about it, but I did. What I did is like what you said. It's like, I'm going to carve out 30 minutes in the morning as a warm up before I work out. I would dance. So that, being consistent with that, but what happens within that 30 minutes in terms of either I can master a move or not, I'm just going to let it take as long as it takes, because like
Okay.
I am repeating myself.
Yeah.
But you know, if like I don't get it for some reason, because like, you know, my body's not moving the way my brain is telling it to move, and it looks shitty, and like my hands just going all over the place. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just gonna keep at it, and then it takes as long as it takes.
That's good.
Yeah.
So just you're gonna be consistent, so long as you're consistent with it, right?
Yeah. So that's the lesson that I took away from you, Hope. Just be consistent with it.
Just be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't stress too much about the
Yeah.
you know, unrealistic goal that I set for myself.
Yeah, or like the reason why I like consistency, like the best way that I can explain like the consistency, like being consistent is more important than anything else, right? And it's like the best way that I can think about is like, let's say I want to go do arms. Like let's say I want to go work out today. Today's bicep day.
Yeah.
You can like, being consistent is you just go and like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want to work out biceps, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that I used to kind of get stuck with is like, but I need the best bicep exercises. What exercise is going to maximize my time at the gym? And like, I spend too much time on it. Should it be a closed grip easy girl, or should it be wise grip easy girl? Like, you know, like, versus, and then like, I used to kind of get stuck in that where it's like, I need to make the most out of my time versus just go. Who cares what you do? Just go and do something is better than like spending too much time worrying about the details that don't really matter if you're not going there to begin with. So just focusing on the thing, like the little things. I'm not good at it, but like it's what I kind of tell myself to like, just do it. Like just do it, just go and do it. And then once you're consistently been at it, then focus on the details. But you know, so yeah.
Hope you're wise. I'm learning.
Bro. Thank you.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I just gotta heed my own advice, but I just tell myself, just do it. Like forget efficient, just do it. So
yeah. Because it's like starting sometimes could be really scary. And like it's so overwhelming. And then like after you do like a couple times, like, oh, like obviously I'm not progressing at the speed that I want to progress. Maybe I should just give up. Like I do get that from time to time, depending on whatever the goal is. And then like sometimes I do give up.
yeah, for sure.
But maybe it's like just be consistent with it. Maybe that's like
really
important.
Yeah. And the other thing is like for me with like writing like the GMAT or like the CFA test a little while ago, like, like if you fail, like that's fine. And it's hard to accept, but like I always tell myself, like if you're not failing at something, you're not like pushing yourself to the boundaries of what you can do. It's like kind of like it's how I comfort myself if I want to cry and I'm not doing well. But in a part of that is just like the GMAT test, for example, right? Like, was my studying the most efficient? No. Like I know I could have been better. Could I have been doing my questions in a better way? Of course I can. Like I could have always been doing better, but the better part of me prevented me from setting the time to do my test. And I kept pushing the test back. What I should have done is like written the test a bit sooner, figure out where I needed to work on, and then tweak, and then ready to do the test again, right? But you know, if I was a smarter person, I don't have to like I would have done better the first time, but I mean, you know, I'm only anyways. Yeah, man. Good stuff. So I think hopefully 2021, I mean, it sounds like you got a big life goal ahead of you, a big one, which is really exciting. But yeah, it's good.
For you as well.
Like, you know, the planning part, the thinking part is good, but I've been doing a lot of that. So it's just taking action. Like that's that's the next big one for me. You know, whatever that action is like just getting up and doing. So
yeah, I'll be interested to know. Let me know what your like some techniques that your therapist suggest.
Yeah,
like my therapist told me like it's like a super common like pros and cons list. Like actually write it down.
Yeah.
And then like 5 whys, right? Like actually write it down. And then like if there's something a little touchy,
Yeah.
Like do
Yeah.
5 whys and then like really like try to see,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
things that you don't want to voice it because it sounds ridiculous, or it's like you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? So a bunch of years ago, there's, you know, the Chip and Dan Heath, the book, the Moments book guys.
Yeah.
I still have that
Yeah.
book of yours, by the way. Those guys wrote a book called Decisive or something like that
Okay.
a couple of years ago. Now I have that book, and
Yeah.
it had to do with like helping make better decisions. Like, how do you make decisions, right? So
Mm,
pros and cons list is a very common one.
yeah.
The one thing that one of the techniques, because they have a bunch of techniques, one of the techniques that's always stuck with me over the years,
Yeah.
and like I try to use it, is if I need to come, like if I'm trying to decide, like, do I go away? Like if I'm trying to come up with a decision and I
Yeah.
can't come up with an answer, one of the exercises they said was pretend that decision that you're trying to make,
Yeah.
like a best friend is trying to make, and they come to you for advice. What advice would you give them? Right?
Oh, okay.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
and then that for me, like, it helps reframe the question.
Mm,
So like, you know, if you are trying to decide, you know, do I like move away, or do I do that stuff, right?
yeah.
I like, and you ask me for my advice would be like, do it. For sure. Like, the advice is to take action, right? So
Yeah.
I go through this. So if I'm trying to think like, do I go away? Do I not go away? And I can't come up with an answer.
Yeah.
I reframe it as if you're asking me that question.
Yeah.
And my answer to you will be like, go, do it. Why not? Right. And then that tells
Yeah.
me, okay, I know what the answer should be.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Damn. It's always going to be the scary answer that I want to avoid, but that is the answer.
That's the,
right? Because
yeah.
yeah, because it's my life. It's like easier for me to encourage someone to do something. It's not my life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know that's the right answer.
Exactly.
Like it's easier to say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Damn. I see. Wow. That's
I don't know.
okay. That's a
I
good
find
one.
it quite useful. Yeah. There's a couple
That's a
of
good
others,
one.
but yeah.
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 And then let me know, maybe in the next time we chat, let me know how I can actually go through with it.
Yeah.
Because like,
That's the hard
you know,
part.
it's like deep inside, I know what
Yeah.
I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. All right, my man. Good
All right.
chat. Happy
Cool,
New
sir.
Year. Good
Happy
start
New
to
Year.
the, and I guess I'll talk to you soon.
Next week.
Later, dude.
Later.
Bye.